And we should now be live. Hello everybody. I'm just going to make sure everything's working correctly over here. It would seem to be. How are we all doing today? And yes, I am live on camera today. So for those of you who haven't seen me before, hello. Hello Rob, hello Colorbeta, Berenson is here. I think King Giga is still here amongst a few others as well. So today is going to be a 3-hour long stream. The first hour I'm going to spend going through some conversations and discussion about the new news we've had for Jurassic World Evolution 3 and Jurassic Park Survival. And then after that we'll play something. It looks like maybe the aisle. It keeps fluctuating. It looks like the aisle is just going to nudge it out, but I will leave the poll going for the next hour. I am going to turn on some background music. Bear with me. There we go, some background music. Let me know if the music needs to be turned down or anything. And yeah, let's just get going. Just so you guys are aware, the camera is on that monitor, but you guys are over here. So if I'm not looking always at the camera, it's because I'm reading your messages. So the first thing we're going to get started on is some new footage that Jurassic World Evolution 3 posted only to their Facebook, it seems. And I'm just going. I will play it for you. It's going to have to be silent because it contains copyrighted music, but I'm just going to play it silently for you all so you can see what it is to begin with if you haven't, if you don't use Facebook or if you haven't been on Facebook. And then we'll go through it slower and discuss some things. When the aisle tonight, I want some blood. Like I say, the first hour will be us discussing the new news and everything, and then we will play the aisle, Rob. So yeah, it's only about a minute long, this new footage. There's not much new it shows, but maybe there's one or two elements. Plus, it appears to only be on Facebook. Not even Evo knew about this until I was able to point it out to her. So yeah, this is only on Facebook at the moment. So obviously, this is just the release animation of the T-Rex. Looks like it hasn't changed very much. Looks like it's the exact same come out, have a roar. We get to see... Yes, so I'm guessing this is the Montana Badlands map, potentially. It's the sort of desert, but there's a lot of greenery in this desert. I think I've always liked the desert biome in Jurassic World Evolution 2, so... I think this looks perfectly fine. We get to see that... Yes, we'll discuss that particular news thing in a minute, Nicholas. Don't worry, we'll get to it. So, yeah, we have the same terrain tools being used. We see the waterfall tool being used again. It's nice to see, like, different types of waterfall being generated. So here you've got quite a steep one. But when he places down that water, you get a more shallow, sort of... more of a rapids sort of waterfall. So it's nice to see that we're going to be able to have some variation in waterfall type. Oh, hello, Evo. And yes, that grass is very green for a desert. Like I say, I think this is the Montana map. It's a bit weird how it... I don't know. You'd have to keep that grass here, wouldn't you? Because if you got rid of it, you couldn't get rid of it around the map boundary. I must say, look how... This map boundary looks a lot better than some map boundaries we've seen in Jurassic World Evolution 2. It's a lot smoother. There's less really stupid out-sticking bits and everything. This makes a bit more sense for a map boundary. Then he just places another lake, and we get yet another, that steeper waterfall come down. I mean, something I think we're all going to end up like doing a lot is constantly removing and placing water back down to try to get the perfect waterfall. Like, because I actually kind of like this one, and then when he switches it to this double one, I'm like, that's not as good to me. So there's going to be a lot of fidgeting around with waterfalls, I think. Places down an awful lot. Then we see the ramp tool again. This one is a bit, makes a bit more sense. He's obviously creating some raised ground for the T-Rex, so he creates like more of an overlook with the same terrain tool. Then we see these placing down the redwood brush as per last time. Now this is the sort of most important thing, I think, about this particular video, is that he's created this ramp which is covered in rocks, and then he uses some tool to remove the rocks. Now, because it's cut off, we don't see which terrain tool this is, so it doesn't give us, but at least it shows us we can remove rocks if we don't like the rocks that are pre-placed down, which is a good thing. There was a big concern of mine. It was like we were going to have all these rocks put up, but no way of knowing like how to get rid of them. This is the same high, I think this is the medium security fence from Jurassic World Evolution 2. Difficult to tell because the medium and the high ones, they basically look the same apart from different level of concrete, I think. So I think this is either the high or the medium. He puts it round, puts one of the standard Jurassic World Evolution gates in there. We do also have the return of the Jurassic World Lagoon galleries, which look almost exactly the same as they used to be. There is a weird, like, tree that's on its side down here that's kind of, like, sticking into the path, I've just noticed. And then we have the placing down of what looks to be a really nice viewing gallery. If that's the new viewing gallery, I think that looks really nice. Kind of an evolution on the gallery that we already have. It's interesting that there is no fencing elsewhere. We've only seen fencing where they put the gate. So obviously these rocks and stuff are not passable to the T-Rex. This bit disappointed me. So this bit is a disappointment. Firstly, you can see when he places this down, the hatchery removes all of the grass, all of the plants. So my hope that we were going to be able to hide these feeders a little bit, gone. Looks like we're not going to be able to manage that. And it's also the goat feeder again. If the carnivores only have goats to feed on, I shall be disappointed. There's no excuse for it now. Now this is a weird thing. This appears to be a nest, I would assume. Based on the little thing in the middle. Maybe with the individual placeable foliage you can hide it, turning off collision. Quite possibly, that is a good point. Now, this is a different style of nest to the one that we've previously seen, so I'm wondering, do each environment biome come with their own design of nest? Or is this nest been built in the modular system by the developers? I like the way it says can place here, no valid dinosaurs. So the T-Rex obviously can't use it, because if there were valid dinosaurs, it would say so. You think it's a pre-saved modular? I mean, it looks a bit of a weird sort of hatchery to use because it's got a sign on it that says keep out. And I'm like, no one's going to be in this enclosure. So I think it is highly probable it's a modular pre-build. And then we have a nice shot of the Rex. This Rex looked different to me, and I can't quite nail down how. I think something's changed in the head, the crests, over the eyes. It just looks different. And it's like, I can't figure out why. The pattern of the striping is pretty similar to what it has in Jurassic World Evolution 2, Atifa. It does look a bit more bulky. That is a good point, Tenebrae. And that's about it. Like, I suppose the only thing to note is, well, we have the return of the Innovation Center again. And we get another look at the baby, but that's about it. The overview shot is quite nice, you know. Get a nice view of the enclosure. But not much else to go on. This is basically, you know, just an enclosure build like we had before. So, again, it's nice to see the game in function, but I do wish that we would start seeing more than just, here's all the fancy terrain tools and here's the babies. We need to see a lot more than this now. So, yeah. Tis what it is. It's new information, whatever. Right, let's move on to the next thing. Let's stick with Jurassic World Evolution 3 for now. I need to change this to... hang on. I need to do a new thing. Stream 2 seconds, folks. Browser or window? Capture window. I want to capture... Why isn't it letting me capture? 2 seconds. Don't you love it when OBS decides to just not do the thing you want it to do? Okay, let's do it this way then. Did that work? Ah! Oh, it's just shrunk the stream lounge by mistake. I promise I'm professional. No, I'm not really professional. I don't have to make that promise. Evo does, but I don't. Right. Here we go. Let's move this down. So shouldn't I be? There we go. So got there in the end. Can we full screen this? Isn't it like F11? There we go. Okay, so this was the post they posted to their website. Basically showing off all the behind the scenes stuff that they went into to making the Psittacosaurus. It's good for them to do something like this because it shows people how, you know, the background to making stuff in a video game, how it actually works. There's a lot of information here about the basics of how they add an animal into the game. For Psittacosaurus, they had a preserved specimen at a museum in Frankfurt, so it was, you know, quite useful to have that. nice to see that here they mentioned that they're allowed, that they've got 84 different color combinations. So that is a few more than Jurassic World Evolution 2, right? Jurassic World Evolution 2, it's 12 by 6, and then you have 12 on top of that without patterns. So technically, oh no, it is the same, isn't it? Someone do the maths. It's a lot. It's very warm here. Maths is a struggle. But at least this proves that we're going to have a similar sort of skin system to the current skin system that we have in Jurassic World Evolution 2. Then they show off the male and female variations. So as we can see that the males are going to have color on the heads. They're going to have longer quills, and there will be colors on the quills. And there's a bit of difference in the body pattern. I mean, this works very nicely as a male-female variation. I do hope all of the male-female variations are decent. I don't want some animals to just be the female is smaller than the male and that's it. I want them to actually put some work into making the females look better and different. Hello, Cameron, and thank you. The male's head also looks bigger, slightly bigger. Then they talk about using modern birds, blah 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 blah. They mention that the juvenile Spinosaurus, they looked at baby gharials. So the juvenile Spinosaurus have shorter snouts and bigger eyes than their adult companions. So I think they're going to end up looking quite cute. They focused on how the animal's going to interact, how they moved around on all fours as juveniles and shifted to 2 legs as adults. And this helps with the rigging and animation of them. And then they have some nice animations here. So I'm assuming this animation is just like a sort of resting animation for the animal when it's, you know, laying down but not sleeping. I hope, like I've said many times, this is not the only one they have, because I don't want to see every single animal doing the exact same animation over and over again. I want there to be different variations, because there's no reason not to. Then we have this I assume is a social animation between baby Psittacosaurus. Something that concerns me about this is it seems very much this sort of Jurassic World Evolution 2 standard of the animation will only play out when they're in the right position, when the animation then plays out, and then the animals just walk off. I really, really hope they've improved the quality of these so-called dynamic animations. I don't want to see dinosaurs sitting, waiting for socials to play out. That's like one of my biggest bugbears from Jurassic World Evolution 2. Let's move on from the dinosaur sits and waits for the carnivore to get in the position for the carnivore to do the strike animation, shall we? Then they go over how they make the sounds in the game. So, for those who don't know how sound design works, usually for things like this, it's combining lots of different animation sounds together. For walking with dinosaurs and stuff like that, there was a lot of this sort of thing. They would combine sounds from like cutting into vegetables and stuff to replicate the sounds of animals biting into each other. So this is all pretty standard stuff. But again, if you don't know any of this, it's nice that they're going over it. This is not the same sound, though, that we heard in the trailer for the Psittacosaurus. So I'm wondering if the sound in the trailer was a placeholder, because the sound in the trailer was clearly Homalocephaly. But that is not Homalocephaly, that is definitely new. So I'm hoping that the trailer Homalocephaly using copy-pasting of is just a placeholder. Blah, 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 blah. This is all about giving the juveniles the same sort of thing and adding other sounds. This is all about the animations. Let's get to the important stuff. Where is it? So here we have them mentioning dinosaurs like Compsognathus standing up to and chasing away a hungry Tyrannosaurus looking to make a meal of their juveniles. So this proves that compies are in the game, but it also proves that compies have juveniles, which is weird, because compies are so small I wouldn't have bothered. Yeah, Dan's Doodles, we've literally just went through it at the beginning of the stream. Where was the thing about the hybrids then? Have I gone past it? I thought there was something... the hybrid stuff was an inference. Yeah, I thought they mentioned it about... It was about the breeding, wasn't it? Just trying to find it. Oh, there it is. So, the introduction of dimorphism and juveniles means that the team has created distinct and believable family units. We'll be the judge on whether they're believable, Frontier. With females, males, and juveniles for all species in the game except hybrids, including returning species from previous games. So, that confirms that the hybrids are not going to reproduce. And we have 7 hybrids, which matches the ones... Do we have 7 hybrids? Indominus Rex, Indoraptor, Scorpius Rex, and then the 4 in the hybrid pack. So yeah, 7 hybrids. And they said earlier, what was it 82 animals and 75 that can breed? What did it specifically say? Can't remember where that piece of particular news was. But basically, this does prove that the little animals are going to breed, if the little animals are in the game. I don't see the point in baby combies. I don't see the point in combies generally. I don't see the point in baby combies at all. They're going to be so small. Like, you're never going to see them. And it makes me a little bit nervous, because I'm like, what animals are we losing from Jurassic World Evolution 2's roster so that we can have all of the hybrids? Couldn't we have just not had all of the hybrids? couldn't we have just not had breeding little dinosaurs? You know, I'm really, really nervous at the moment because I think we're going to lose so many lagoon animals, and I think we're going to lose so many current animals from the roster which are really, really good. You know, losing Hwango I would be devastated with. Losing Alamo I think would be a bad thing. Losing Novo, losing Shawnee, losing Archelon, losing Chrono, losing Liprodon for me personally. I like Liprodon. Losing Elasmo, that would suck. We've already lost Yehalopterus, which sucks because personally I think that's a really good pterosaur. If we lose a Margosaurus, I'll be gutted. Like, I have a really distinct feeling I am going to lose so many animals I actually really, really like from Jurassic World Evolution 2. And that might kill me wanting to play the game, if I'm honest. Like, if we lose so many of those favorites, I don't want to play it. I know there's a particular group of people that say that only the canon species should be in the game, but I'm like, come on, guys. This game is supposed to be more than that. And yeah, we're losing a lot more thanks to them putting in new species, so I don't know. We'll have to see what happens to the full roster when it comes out on the 27th. When we go to the... Well, that's if they have the full roster available on the 27th with the event in September. Which is what I assume Dan Stoodles is referring to. I'll be going. I'm... literally one of the things I'm going to be pursuing when I'm there is I want to see the roster. That's like my major thing I want to do there. I'm also curious to see whether anyone from Frontier is actually going to be there, because I intend to go in like a triclaw hoodie and stuff. So I'm just going to fly the flag a bit, and perhaps I might make a few sneaky asks and be like, have you like seen my stuff, or I've been really critical about your games on YouTube. Just, you know, just see what information I might be able to garner. That's if anyone's there, of course. We have no idea if anyone's going to be there. I'm just curious to see how they might react. I suppose at least this confirms all of the hybrids will be in the game at launch, so those that like the hybrids can be happy, I guess. But I bet you they won't be. I bet the people that like the hybrids are going to bitch and whine that they can't breed. I can see it now. You're going to have people complaining that, like, oh, we can't breed them, no baby Indo, blah, 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 blah. Couldn't give a damn, frankly. Give us actual dinosaurs over hybrids first. I wonder if by that regards, then, we can confirm the existence of the animals that are required for them. So... I suppose the only one that adds is Sinoceratops. Because if Spinoceratops is in the game, they could, I mean, this is assuming that they mean the 4 hybrids that we got in the hybrid pack. They could surprise us with a different hybrid, but assuming there it's the same hybrids, then that artificially confirms Diplodocus and Sinoceratops, then, in that case. You watch them be like, you know, we're just going to throw all those hybrids away and give you new ones. Whatever. But yeah, that's basically everything from this post. There's nothing really informative here because this is stuff I already knew about. But if you don't know about game design, then this is all an interesting read. Most of what they actually talk about is stuff they've already mentioned before, like how dinosaur baby behavior is going to vary and stuff, so yeah, all well and good. Right, goodbye with that. Now we have one more thing to go over, and that is the Jurassic Park survival stuff. But before I go into that, let's just... I'll give folks a few minutes just to keep talking about Jurassic World Evolution 2. So, cut Spinoceratops, put it in a DLC, then add a new hybrid. What new hybrid unless we get an aquatic or flying? See, now I wouldn't be against an aquatic or aviary hybrid, because it makes sense to. Like, I thought that was one of the big things missing from Jurassic World Evolution 2, was a lagoon hybrid and an aviary hybrid to take advantage of those environments. I thought it was weird not to. Meg Moser hybrid? Nah, I mean, if I was going to do a hybrid... I mean, I came up with a aquatic hybrid some years ago for a special video I did on the channel. So, that was a mosasaur combined with Ankylosaurus. But there's the option there. That's all I'm saying. If they just made all the current animals able to breed, would we accept no new animals in Jurassic World Evolution 3? I mean, no, because I think for every new game you have to have some new animals. What I'm really worried about here is we're going to lose a lot. And the question is not necessarily about how many we're losing. The question is what we lose. Because if we lose the animals that give the roster diversity in terms of size, like if we lose Nigersaurus and we lose Amargasaurus, we have no small sauropods. If we lose all the Chinese stegosaurs, we have no small stegosaurians. If we lose Minmi, Plateosaurus, Nodosaurus, we don't have any varieties of that particular group of ankylosaurs. You know, if we lose Herrera, Procerato, a lot of those smaller carnivores, then we don't have many small theropods. And if we lose Megalo and Metriacantho and all those, we have no, you know, we lose medium carnivores. We want a roster that's diverse. I feel like a certain part of the Jurassic audience needs to remember that not every dinosaur is big, you know. We don't just want a game full of big theropods and sauropods and Quetzalcoatluses. We want a game with a variety of a diverse dinosaur portfolio. And I say dinosaur, but it needs to be diverse all across the board. You know, the aviary animals, we need a range of size. The lagoons, we definitely need a range of size. And at the moment, one of my biggest fears with the lagoons is we are going to end up with Mosasaurus, maybe Megalo and Dunk, if they're really in the game and not just statues. But again, until we see them, as far as I'm concerned, they're not confirmed. And that might be it. We might just end up with 3 big lagoon animals and nothing family friendly or small. There needs to be a variety of size, shape, and type. And if we don't have that, I will be gutted. And it might make me not necessarily want to play Jurassic World Evolution 3. I agree with you, Colorator. That's a good philosophy to have. And I agree, Atifa, I hope they keep it balanced. Right. So, this video is the first news about Jurassic Park survival we have had in a very long time. Now, I'm not going to play it because, again, it contains copyrighted music, and also most of this video is, if I'm honest, the makers of this game sucking Universal's proverbial, for want of a better term. It's all praise Universal, thank God for Universal, we've always wanted to do this, blah blah blah. Let's just focus on the important, relevant information, and that is the stuff we've actually, like, got. Now, all this stuff, this pre-rendered stuff, worthless. Pre-rendered cutscenes don't mean squat. So let's actually get to the actual pre-alpha footage, which is here. So this is actual in-game footage which is the stuff we need to see. Naturally, they do quite a good job of putting their faces in it as much as possible. Something I would say is that graphically, I think it looks fine. This is pre-alpha stuff, so it's tricky to tell from pre-alpha stuff, but it's fine. I would say it doesn't. It's not overwhelmingly amazing, which I like. I think modern gaming has gone down the wrong road of focusing so heavily on graphics at the cost of everything else. If the game looks acceptable and runs really well, that's more important to me than looking photorealistic. That's just my personal opinion, and I think this looks fine. You know, I love this shirt. I want this shirt. How cool is this shirt? Every time I saw it in this video, I was like, that's amazing. Where is this? Where does this coat come from? It's so cool. I bet it's a woman's only as well. This is pre-rendered again, so it doesn't matter very much because it's just pre-rendered stuff. This is all. There's some interesting things here. This says... Okay, so first thing to notice, this is being made by Saber. Now, if you haven't heard of Saber, they're the people that make another game on this channel that I've played, which is SnowRunner, which is the truck driving game. So it's interesting here that we have what clearly seems to be a driving segment for this particular bit of the game that they're talking about. But there's some things we can get from here. So we got CH01, I assume that means Chapter 1. 04 meaning Act 4, perhaps? Or Part 4. Chase, a Jeep stuck. And then we can read almost every bit of this storyboarding. This is the sort of thing they would normally have for like detailing the exact process of a preset cutscene. There's a mention of Gallimimus here running down the canyon. So, and a baby Gallimimus jumping on the Jeep. And then here it says, Maya quickly grabs something, Carl's tranq rifle from the back of the Jeep. So it looks like there's going to be lots of other NPCs to interact with. Darts at the Jeep, jumps to Patrick Dryland and returns to look at the baby. Return controls end scene. So yeah, this is a cutscene and it ends with return controls with you armed with a tranquilizer rifle. I assume the job is to perhaps go and trank one of these galleys or something. Yes, some of the clips are from the pre-rendered trailer, which is why I'm not focusing on them, because again, pre-rendered trailer, not important. Then we have some more pre-alpha of this. Now, this is obviously the control room, but it doesn't look quite exactly the same. Or it might just be the position of where it is. But I don't think it looks exactly the same as the original film. It's difficult to tell, because in the movie we only ever saw it from certain positions. Yeah, the missing glass panel. So what I assume this is, based on this surround, I think this is actually part of that ride that we see in the film, where they were rotating round, going past the embryo storage. I reckon this is actually another part of that ride. And this is another section of those windows that you would see as the ride goes along. So that's what that glass is for. Because obviously the glass that breaks would be one of these windows in the side. That's where the raptors break through. Technically, there should be a whole event in the ceiling that's missing a cover. I do actually... It does actually look like there's one missing. So, yeah. This desk is Nedry's, obviously. It's a bit cleaner than it looked in the film. Then we have them go on about how they got to look at some of the actual, like, props from the movie, which was kind of cool, actually. It's nice to see, like, these original props, because they are pretty cool. Including the, like, incubation setup, which, you know, it's nice to see them using real stuff from the movie to create stuff in the film. So we got the raptor egg section in there. Some more pre-rendered footage. Now, this is obviously the control room before Rexy comes in and, you know, redecorates, shall we say? So I wonder if part of the game is going to be set prior to the events that happen. It seems a bit strange you would create this and not use it. So that'll be fun, looking around the place before it gets busted up and broken up. And then we have just like the smidge of gameplay. Just like a smidge of gameplay using a torch to look around. Which really does put me in mind of Alien Isolation. Because that's the big thing with this game. This is not going to be a happy, cheery dinosaur game. They're going for a survival horror experience. This is very survival horror. You know, torches and dark corridors. Probably full of raptors and God knows whatever else. I really am looking forward to a survival horror experience. I don't want it to be... like, it doesn't have to be overly scary. It just has to have this sort of claustrophobic atmosphere. Like, I wouldn't call Subnautica scary, but it does have the atmosphere that makes you not feel scared, but feel anxious all of the time, which is kind of what I want from this game. I want to feel anxious when I'm walking around these corridors and stuff. I don't want it to be full of action. I love these, can I just say as well, I love these, the heads on the wall. These busts of the T-Rex on the wall, they're so cool. I want them too. Like, where did they come from? Walk. So we get to watch this animation of the Rex walking around. It's obviously very early animation because I would say it looks really stiff. But I think the Rex itself looks great. It looks very much like Jurassic Park 1's Rex. I mean, I think it looks fine. Fantastic. Hello, Tumbleweed. I think I may have found my dream channel. Really? I think that's... If you're talking about mine, then thank you very much. I appreciate your optimism. I wouldn't say I'm the best Jurassic channel. Triglaw is not really a Jurassic channel, we're a gaming channel, but I focus personally on the dinosaur stuff, so... And then we have pre-rendered footage again. Again, not pre-rendered stuff means nothing. Go away. And then we have another nicer look at the T-Rex. Looks great. And we have it doing some shifting around, bump, 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 and terrain deformation. Now, this is actually an interesting thing. So, anyone who's played SnowRunner recognizes this engine's terrain deformation. This is exactly the same terrain deformation system that you have in SnowRunner when your trucks drive through mud and stuff. So it's clear this is running on SnowRunner's engine. And something I would say about SnowRunner's engine is it's very well optimized. You get a lot of settings on it graphically, so you can alter a lot of stuff to make it work. You get a lot of accessibility features, like colorblind features and stuff like that. So what I'm going to say is that if it's running on Saber's proprietary engine, then it's probably good news for optimization and for, you know, people needing accessibility features. That's a good thing. We have a nice dino running around here. Now, this is outside of the visitor center. Some things haven't been textured yet, like the little truck here. And it doesn't look like the outside of the visitor center's been textured. But this is obviously the road leading up to it, and we have a little dino running around. So I wonder if this means that it's going to be like a semi-open world where there's going to be dinosaurs running about wherever you are that you might bump into and you might not, or whether each dinosaur is going to be stuck to one particular stage. Like, I can imagine one particular level the dinos are the threat, one particular level the raptors are a threat, one particular level the Rex is a threat, or whether, like, it's just random and stuff will pop up. I think either works, but I would prefer the first. Like, I want to be surprised. I want surprising things to happen. These Swerve's done donations for children in Gaza. Oh, we're talking about Swerve. Let's know. What's the most annoying thing that happens while playing Jurassic World Evolution 2, in your opinion? I have so many. All I would say, Tumbleweed, is if you want my thoughts, I made a 4-hour-long, in-depth, end-of-life review for Jurassic World Evolution 2 that should be on the channel if you want to go and watch it. Put it on in the background while you listen to me talking, you know. But if you want to know the most annoying thing I think about Jurassic World Evolution 2, it's when animals sit and wait for their animations to play. It just ruins the immersion. The dino looks great, by the way, I have to say. And then we have, I'm assuming this is a cutscene section with the T-Rex smashing its way into a log to try to get you. Very powerful, looks very cool. We have another short bit of the Rex in a car park. Again, the animation quality is a bit iffy, like the way that the tail works around that object, but it is what it is. Oh, and, you know, character being eaten. And then we have, the lovely Mr. DNA room, which is the start of, obviously, the tour ride in there. Honestly, if the game is open world, I'd love to see the dinosaurs be in such areas as their pens, then as you progress they appear in other areas. Yeah, that could be cool. The embryo room, very cool. Just, see, look how creepy these environments look. I think this is all really good news for the game. And I also love this. So apparently they've been creating new places for the game, because obviously in the film we see very little of the park. Hello, Kairu. Yes, you did, I'm afraid. It's at the beginning. So they've been creating new areas for the park. I think some of these look absolutely good. I think this is the hotel concept. How cool does this look? Like, it looks like you've got a sort of tram or something that takes you up this mountain. And then you've got these like private villa sort of buildings, very Jurassic World Evolution style. And then you have the big building at the top with this obvious pool at the front. And the sort of almost Brachiosaurus looking gates. I think it looks really, really cool. Something I might have to do in Jurassic World Evolution 3, if/when I get it. Try to recreate this That would be like a massive project, but I would give it a go. Maybe like try to recreate this building. The hotel is definitely sexy. I would agree. I think Evo would agree as well. I think Evo's probably not here still. But I think she would definitely agree. Looks like a good place to hide from raptors and a T-Rex. Perhaps. And then we have some more footage of you walking into the visitor center and walking around the embryo storage and crawling through vents. You know, Alien Isolation, crawling through vents was a big part of the gameplay and was some of the most nerve-wracking sections. So if they've recreated that here, then that's going to be good. We have the briefest of raptor shots here. And then it's gone. We just have environmental stuff. Now this is the first like gizmo we've seen. No idea what it does. It's obviously a tracker, potentially. So I'm wondering if this allows you to determine, because like in Alien Isolation you have the noise tracker. I wonder if this is similar to that. So every animal, every dinosaur is tagged. This allows you to see how close they are and what direction they're in, potentially. We have a nice shot of unknown building. Kind of makes me think of the Jurassic World Evolution hatchery building. Just like the double story look, and the fact it looks like it has like a hollow center in the middle. We have then the compass and a map. This map looks very extensive. So again, that makes me think that perhaps this is going to be quite open world. I'm pretty sure Barry and other animals... I would love to see some other dinosaurs in this game that are not in Jurassic Park. So Barry would be kind of cool. We have the brachies. Look at that. They do look a bit weird because they all have their mouths wide open. So again, I'm going to assume this is like, you know, pre-alpha. They haven't given the Brachiosaurus like animation yet, so they haven't shut their mouths. It's a bit, they will just look a bit like that. And then they talk about, you know, having the raptor scene in the game. So this is pre-alpha in-game, and then it switches to the pre-rendered footage for that cutscene. And then a lot of the rest of it focuses on our principal character that we're playing and doing all the mocap stuff. Which is interesting, but not necessarily relevant. Although I have heard that apparently there's already a lot of hatred going around because this particular character isn't white, which I just think is really sad. And kind of disgusting, frankly. Who the hell cares what ethnicity or what the ethnicity of your character is, for heaven's sake? Metri would be really cool to have. And oh, just some more prop shots. This is an interesting one. So who can let's play a game. Can we identify all the props? So the coat in the background. I know most of you should get all of these, but the coat in the background is or was worn by who? We'll go one by one, Sheriff. Okay. T-Rex tooth from the car scene. Yep. Nedry, Muldoon, and Ellie wore the coat. I would say that Nedry, he was probably the most famous for wearing that coat since he dies in it. Obviously, you have the eggs from the egg scenes. The goggles. The tranquilizer darts comes from where? I mean, Berenson noted it as a tranq dart, but where did we see it? I'm curious to know how good any of your memories are of the movies. Because I know where it's from. I know the last time we see it as well. The Lost World. Yeah, it's in the Lost World Dance Doodles. These are the darts we see used by Roland Tembo to trank the T-Rex. These little dinosaur feet things, I don't remember them being in any of the movies. Does anyone else recognize these dinosaur feet things? I thought those were cookies. They do look like cookies. And then, you know, more universal pandering. Oh yes, rest in peace for Roland Tembo's actor. And you know, pre-rendered footage at the end. It's all very positive so far. It's nice we have some information because obviously for a while it was all up in the air. There were some thoughts it had been cancelled because the company that owns the company that's making this went bust and had to sell stuff off and all sorts of stuff happened. So, oh, Evo is still here. I bet the little feet we used them to make the tracks in sound and Grant and the kids. Oh, that's a good idea actually, Evo. Quite possibly, yes. Evo, since you're here, what did you think of the oh, where is it? Here, what did you think of the hotel? I was thinking of trying to build this in Jurassic World Evolution 3, perhaps. But I just wanted to... What did you think of the hotel? Evo the inspector. I was away for a bit. I really like the hotel. That's ambitious. It is a sexy hotel, and it is ambitious to try to make it, but I really want to have a go. It doesn't look like it doesn't look that tricky-ish, maybe. If you simplify some of the edges down, maybe. We'll see how the modular building in the game goes. But yeah, Survivor looks... it's good to have information at last about Survivor. We know that it's still in development, not being cancelled. And if they're showing off pre-rendered, pre-alpha footage, I mean, this means that at least the game is getting there in terms of its development. But I don't think they've announced when it's coming, have they? Like, they haven't given... Yeah. They haven't even given a rough date. Definitely next year. I suspect probably... Where are we now? We're in August now, and they've got pre-alpha footage. Maybe July, August next year, maybe, I would say. I would be surprised if it's early next year. Because it looks like they have a long way to go. I mean... Some stuff isn't even textured yet. So I think they have a long way to go. But yeah, I'm looking forward. I hope they put out more of these. And can I just say, 5 minutes long. Frontier give us 1 minute feature focuses and 1 minute long dinosaur things. This is 5 minutes long. That's a lot better length, personally, I think. So, good job, Saber. And like I say, I played SnowRunner. I adored SnowRunner. So I'm confident Saber are going to do a good job with this. Perhaps a little bit more confident than I am about Jurassic World Evolution 3. Maybe. Anyway, that is all of the news stuff done. So I can now end the poll and... oh man, Jurassic World Evolution 2 won by quite a margin. It's not about length, it's about... never mind. Ew. Filthy. Okay, let's start Jurassic World Evolution 2 up then. I'm going to stop the music. And I am going to do some switching around. Oh yes, you got to see my lovely desktop there. And you know, just for, you know, this particular stream, I'll put myself in here too. That way you can still see my ugly face on stream. Right. So let's get loaded into somewhere. I'm not necessarily going to load into Fletcher's Coast, actually. I'm going to load into Jurassic Europe, actually. Because I want you guys to help me figure out what to do with this map. I voted for Path of Titans. People keep... Once again, democracy let me down. I know, right? Democracy is so overrated. Fletcher the 2000s rock star. What do you mean by that, Dance Doodles? I'm curious. Is it because I'm wearing a cap? It's only because I have terrible hair and I hate my hair. So I'm wearing my Patago Titan cap that I got from the Natural History Museum. Play Path of Titan, Fletcher. Join us. Any group of people that has to go, join us, is not a group of people I want to be joining. He looks like he should be in a band, honestly. Oh, well, thank you. I don't have the figure to be in a band, I'm afraid. So, but I appreciate your kind comments. Okay, so this park is old. I started this park ages ago and haven't finished it. So, show your hair. No, I am not showing my hair. So this park I started ages ago. There's a lot about it that I want to go back and change now. We have a lot new parts and components for me to use to change a lot of these areas. I mean, these enclosures, you know, I can almost completely redo thanks to Kyodenics mods. But in here, I think we have Oviraptors with their nice little fountain, and I gave them like a little bit of a hedge maze here just for a bit of fun. And then in this side, the idea was this is like an apple tree, like a fruit tree orchard. And in here we have Sinosauropteryx. This is the only time I have used Sinosauropteryx. They've also have some nice fountains. Then this is kind of like the main avenue area. So we have a nice lake here, Jurassic Park flags, Dreadnoughtus in the middle, nicely lit up, some fountains. And then we have the color scheme for this park is blue and white. I know it's supposed to be in Germany, but I wanted to try and get away from particular color schemes, if you know what I mean. So, blue and white for this particular park. Got some nice planters and stuff like that here. Some nice foliage. Then in here we have a greenhouse. This is supposed to be just like a little greenhouse. So what we've got here, really, this is a single Jurassic World aviary, and then I'm using the bunkers as doors in and out, because you can hide them. And then in here we have some placed water with some dinosaur display and some tropical fish. I think it's really useful to use like the lagoon decorations for placed water if you're using the placed water mod, because the fish add some movement. The water would be static otherwise, so the fish add a lot of movement. It just makes it look less boring. Nice waterfall there. And then in here I thought I'd go for Liplorodon and a Dunkleosteus. Now, it is one of the strange oddities about aviaries that there's no sound from any of the fountains or anything in here. So you kind of have to just accept that. But yeah, I think that looks good. I haven't actually seen this park having installed the path mod. So yeah, I'm seeing some areas where I might want to change the path, but for the most part it's working quite nicely. Like here, I think I might change the path type here. Nice little seating area at the edge of the lagoon. Now the lagoon, you sort of walk downhill. This side has some more toilets, and then on this side you have some Jurassic Park Operation Genesis amenities. You know, the kiosks. One with the giant burger balloon, one with the giant T-Rex balloon. I just love the old Jurassic Park Operation Genesis stuff. They look so cool. And then inside this lagoon, we have a variety of animals. I did close the park, right? I did. Okay. So, in here... Actually, I'm going to switch to camera mode. It's probably easier. So, in here, we have some... shark varieties. I forgot what these are. These are Tencanthus. Devonian period shark, but I'm using them here as kind of like Hybodus. And then we've got some Styxosaurus in here. They have the Lux patterns, I believe. Do they not? That one does not. Interesting. We didn't pick Lux patterns for the Styxo. Oh no. Oh, we have a male and female. So this is our male Styxo. He's got the yellow. And our female does not have the yellow. Okay. And yes, I thought we gave them a sunken ship decoration, plenty of kelp around here, other bits of decoration here and there just to blend it in with the environment. Makes the lagoons look a bit better. They've got like a little reef bit here as well, just something else. And there are viewing galleries either side that guests can have a look in. And they do work. If people haven't seen this already, they do work. And they work quite nicely. Okay. So heading away from this area of the park, we have another seating area, another planted area, and we have a sort of entry into a, if I zoom out, basically, oh, I suppose you could call it a park, but it's also kind of like the center of the park. From here, you get to everywhere else. We have in here, there should be some dinosaurs of some description. Are there dinosaurs in here? I haven't gotten around to putting the dinosaurs in here. This was supposed to be for Microceratus. Wait, Fletcher, you can build quite nice. Thank you, Rob. And we have... We'll do the other areas in a minute, but we got a lot of statues around, a lot of fountains around, some bridges about just across the water. I do like doing water areas. Nice bracky here. I put a few statues here. So the center of this park is like a statue park. You've got a rest area in the middle. Jurassic Park Operation Genesis, naturally. You've got a variety of animals here in statue forms, like little Mr. DNA statue. Got some pterosaurs and aquatics over here as well. Plenty of seating, plenty of covered benches, a variety of seating types. You've got, you know, covered seating, you've got benches, you've got picnic seating to give families and other people a range of things. This has an amphibian area. No, this does not have an amphibian area. Oh, I know what you're referring to, King Giga, and I had to change some things. Talk about that later. Also down here we have, now this one does have animals in. This has the Moros intrepidus in here. Nice little enclosure for them with the olive trees and such. Up here we have a sort of big family area. The viewing galleries here are just galleries to look over stuff. Just, you know, they're viewing galleries. Doesn't have to view dinosaurs. And then this fossil dig zone, 2 fossil dig zones combined, but we have like an outdoor area for it. So the idea is that, you know, your kids will go and they can dig up their own dinosaur. So, you know, there is a T-Rex in here, there's the Apatosaur in here, the Spino in here. That's the whole gist of this. It's like a pretend dig up your own dinosaur bone experience thing, to keep the kids happy. We'll go this way right now. So we have a nice bridge over the lake. I didn't submit this park because it's not finished, Rob, which is what I'll explain to you guys in a sec. We have a nice seating area here and the innovation center. So this is, I know what it looks like. Don't question why my park has those. So there are 2 innovations joined together. Evo straight in there with the, I know what those are. Those are boobies. Yes. Anyway, I actually quite like doing stuff like this. If you're kind of struggling to make your park stand out, don't just think, oh, I'll place 1 innovation center or 1 Jurassic Park visitor center. Try combining them to be 1 building, and it might give you some new ideas. So here we've got like 2 quite big innovation centers, but they're combined together by the rear... I was about to say rear passage, but I knew Evo would laugh. By the rear entrance, exit, by the rear doors, and we've got one side that goes around the edge, and the idea is that this is kind of like a VIP area. So you'd buy a VIP pass, probably inside here, and then in here you have some seating, and you have some nice views of our Tarbosaurus. There's our male Tarbo. And there's our female Tarbo. Oh god, I hate that sitting waiting for the animation to play. They've got quite a big enclosure. We went with a sort of Lost World inspired enclosure with a bit of a river at the front. You've got a nice fountain here just for some movement. And they've got like a... This hides the feeding area where the goats are popping up. So it doesn't break the immersion of the people in here looking at it. They can't see the goat popping up. There is also a viewing dome back here in the lake. I don't know where the entrance to that dome is. Oh, it's back here. So there's the entrance to the viewing dome, surrounded by the Tarbos. Please don't feed the dinosaurs. Might have to change this path colouring down here. Then next door we have a nice little barbecue place and a nice viewing tower that gives nice views over the Tarbosaurus enclosure, but also nice views over this side. Now, over here, we have an unusual enclosure. This is very experimental. This is for the Chinese Stegosaurians. So we have the clearly superior Huangosaurus in here. And then somewhere in here, there should be the less superior Gigant Spinosaurus in here. Is there some of Evo's chunking? I don't think so, because chunking is not very good, so we wouldn't put it in here, you know. Lies, heinous lies! Come on, look how lovely the skins are. It's such a nice skin pattern. I've decided I am going to deliberately make a video on which is the best Chinese, like, best small stegosaur to keep. I am going to go for it. I'm going to call you out, Evo. But anyway, don't you dare. You what? I will. I swear, I will. I will. I'm a tiny channel. I don't have anything to lose. Right, don't you dare put my chunky boy on blast like that. But the aim of this enclosure was, yeah, so this kelp, I imagine as a kind of mutated giant strain of bamboo. But thanks to Rob Earth's mod, we now actually have bamboo. So this will probably rebuild this enclosure and have actual bamboo in it. And then we have the big guest hotel areas. So each hotel has a particular dinosaur theme. This is obviously the Allosaurus. Is it? No, this is the Ceratosaurus Carnotaurus hotel. And then this one is the Spinosaurus hotel. And then this one is the Allura Titan hotel. So you get 3 big hotel villas to stay in. Now, back on the other side, we have the gyrosphere. This gyrosphere goes through this big enclosure here, which is home to Argentinosaurus. I believe this is the female, and this is the male. We have some Taurosaurus in here, because Taurosaurus doesn't get enough love as far as I'm concerned. There's our male, these are our females, and then we have some Mutabaras in here as well. I believe these are our females, and our male is... Ah, there's our male, there's our male. And I think somewhere there should be, yes, we have some Tarchia. We have 2 females and a brightly coloured red coral snake male. So it's you know, a good range of animal type and size. We've got a nice little there's some more Tarchias down there. They really stand out, these Tarchias. I love them. They remind me of like the spiny caterpillars with like the bright colors. I really like how they look. But yes, you've got a nice river scene here. They've got a nice archway, which the gyrospheres do go through. Just for a bit of environmental detail, we've got a nice bit of a raised terrain here. And the gyrospheres sort of, so they go along the riverbank first, and then they return via this upper level, overlooking everything. And then this combines with this side of the park. This side of the park, which is the newest side. So we have this... It's a bit excessive, but I quite like it. This nice sort of downhill rampway, which I kind of see it as a bit of crowd control as well, because there'd be a lot of crowds coming this way for some reasons I'll get into in a sec. So I see this as good crowd control because you can kind of spread people out. It's like those queue lines that you have in theme parks. Also, it gives me a chance to do some nice terrain work. We've got some nice fountains here. Some nice planters, etc. Then in here, through this forested pathway, we lead into the next exhibit. Now, in here, if I look from above, in this raptor claw shaped exhibit, we have raptors, naturally. We have oviraptors in, not oviraptors, utahraptors in here. And they have a split half and half enclosure with grassland and volcanic fire zone. So in here we have Jurassic Park 3 style male utahraptors and Jurassic Park 3 style female. And then we have a random patterned one. Just for some variation. I think there was a couple of other patterns in here. How many utahraptors do I have in here? Is it only 4? Yes, we went with I think it was supposed to be like a melanistic. Is this the park you accidentally hit load instead of save on? No. That's that was a different park. Or it might have been this one. Maybe, potentially. Anyway. So that's our utahraptor enclosure. This down here is the problem, which we'll get to in a sec. Following the path along, we then have a nice Corythosaurus and Struthiomimus exhibit. Corytho doesn't get enough love. Oh look, there's those very plain, ugly, not... Those aren't Chunkings. I think they're Dravidos. Are they the Dravidos? They are. They are the Dravidosaurus. That's a Dravidosaurus mod. I thought they were chunks. But yeah, we have the nice bridge that goes across the top. Quite a pain in the arse to get this to line up correctly, but it looks good. Have you heard of the upcoming horror game called Night of the Extinct? No, I haven't, Jack. I may have to go and look that one up. But yeah, Corythosaurus doesn't get enough love. Again, it's another one of those hadrosaurs get ignored. These are our females, I believe. And our male is this guy with the brighter green pattern. The Struthies are all of this, the white striping. Just because it's one of my favourite skins to have on them. We have a few glass viewing windows, which again we can change now that we have the mods. This park was built without so many mods that I've come to use so often now, so I'm going to have to like go around this park and do quite a lot of changes. Then we have this little bit. So this aviary is built into this mountain. We gave this mountain like a nice little pretend Hogwarts castle sort of thing on the top. But this is built into the mountain, and then the aviary is connected to this. So this is like an introduction area to the aviary. And then we have inside the aviary a bridge constructed from viewing logs. And then that goes into viewing dome to view our lovely yellow sunset iguanodon. That's our male and female right there. And also in here is some Thanatos Stragon. There's our female. There's a female. There is a male in here somewhere. I wonder if he's got stuck in the mountain again. Oh, there's our male. Lovely. And then there should also be some Polacanthus in here. So you got some lovely bright yellow and green striped Polacanthus in this nice little sort of half and half enclosure, a nice little grassland area and a sort of mangrove swampy area. We have some planting, nice little thing. This is technically a cover for the hyperloop that connects the upper and lower areas of this part together. And then we can see that this is what I've done here. So, most of you who have played Jurassic World Evolution will recognize this as the Germany map. Now, normally this would be... you'd probably do like a ramp or something down. So I decided to do a big waterfall. This then leads down to this enclosure down here, where we have our lovely Argolons and Nothos. This has not been decorated yet. This is where you technically come out of this area. You have a nice little... so I wanted this to be like a pier. Like you have like a... at the coast you have a pier that goes down to the end. You have a nice seating area, big fountain. And then here I just put in some like flooded rock pool-esque sort of things. And then this lagoon is more or less done. So this one... what does this one have in it? No, this is the Romalosaurus. One male and one female. Oh, there are two. Two sets of pairs. So now, we do also have some Megalodon. There is Megalodon in here. There's our female. There's our male. I do feel bad that they kind of have a smaller lagoon. I kind of think I think 2 is too small. I think I'm going to redesign this to make this a 3-section lagoon. And obviously the Archelon. Now the problem was I got stuck trying to figure out how to lay this area out. Like I was thinking of doing something like path art here and some amenity stuff, and I just kind of got stuck with this park. Oh, we've also got like the like an old ship here in the coast. But yeah, I got stuck trying to figure out what to do with this particular enclosure, an area of the park. Ooh, so yeah. So I'm coming back to this. I definitely want to change this lagoon, and I definitely want to change some other elements. But the first thing I think I do want to do is just go back and do some changing stuff. So I'm more or less happy with most of this. But I think what I'm going to do here is we're going to replace it with Hyodenic's glorious edge fence. Same for this over here. Bigger lagoon, bigger meg lagoon, yes. People seeming to agree with me about the meg lagoon. I think 3 is just... 3 is a good size for most lagoons in this game. Like 3 pieces, whether they're a straight line or a triangle. More or less okay with these planted areas. This I'm going to change. Because we now have the mod that I made. So what we can do is put some of these in. I think we'll go with the nice yellow ones. Then in between, we're just going to put a couple of chunky concrete pieces. Yeah, I think that's... I think that is maybe one more flag in the middle? No. Less is more. There we go. And what we'll do is we'll plant... That'll be planted in. I just want to go around and do like the key stuff first. So these hedgerows. Get rid of the hedgerows and replace them again with modded hedgerows. Bully him into adding chunking. Good night, Evo. Oop. One more there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to spend a little bit of time doing alterations up here, and then we'll go down to... Like for the last hour, we'll go down to the lagoons and figure them out. Now, I do kind of like how I've done these, but I don't like the use of the stone wall. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace it with short log wall instead. I think the short log wall looks better. Add chunking now. No, I will not add chunking. Chunking sucks. Hwango is the superior animal. Remove Hwango and keep only Gigant Spino. No. This enclosure I'm actually pretty happy with. I think this enclosure is fine. And I think this is fine, and this is fine. This one, again, we have the walls. So I'm going to get rid of them and replace them with the logs. Go away from the fence. You're not allowed to be near the fence. That's nice. And I think this enclosure looks more or less fine. Maybe. These I'm happy with. And the planter. This area, I think that's fine. The constant use of these, I think, will change. We'll keep the flaming ones. We'll get rid of that one. And we'll place in some different variety, because variety is, as they say, the spice of life. One there. One there. One there. Yeah. Lovely. Then we have the nice flaming ones, and then let's switch these out again. One there. One there. One. 2 seconds, folks. Yes, I'd have my standard Cosmic Peach. And I think the off-license does have ice cream. It has a frozen thing in the back. Yeah, there's a frozen thing in the back, so if you want to get ice cream, that'd be fine. Surprise me.
Say that. I end up doing the wrong fucking thing.
You know what ice cream flavors I like?
No, just assume I don't.
Okay, don't get me chocolate, don't give me anything with nuts in it. That's like the 2 only ice cream things I have. If they only have chocolate, I'll accept it, but... Okay. Okay, thank you. So, Dane is going to get ice cream and cold drinks for us.
I need it.
Anyway, let's carry on. Surprise me, you didn't say the magic word. So what is everyone's favorite Paleozoic animal? Favorite Paleozoic. That's actually quite difficult because a lot of my favorite prehistoric animals are from the Paleozoic. Probably Anomalocaris. Anomalocaris is like one of my favorites. There's a lot of bushy fences, bushy bushes here, isn't there? Keep some bushy... Oh, are these all bushes as well? I'm actually going to replace those bushes with logs. And back here we will... What is this? Is this a bush? It's a planter. Is this bush? Right. Outside buildable area. Are you kidding me? Okay, that's better, and we've got some nice seating there. That's fine. That's fine. Keep the big bushes there, but we'll get rid of the little ones. And we'll replace this with log fencing. Killed all the fluffy bushes. I did not kill them. I repurposed them. I'm kind of happy with how this area over here turned out. Same for in here, although I am going to... It's not very safe to use giant rocks to protect from drowning, but I like the aesthetic, so we'll keep that as it is. Okay, this out here, we're gonna switch the path to something else. This is where we have to see if it'll actually replace it nice. That's nicer. But we are going to get rid of these hedges. Kidnap all Hwangos now. Look, I'm just saying that the Hwangos have the better skins. They really, really, really do. You cannot tell me that I'm wrong, because I know that I'm not. This Fletcher only likes well-trimmed bushes. No excuse for being untidy. That's all I'm going to say. Okay. I do want to replace the covers. I feel like we need some... combine them with lighting. Okay, this I'm happier with. The rocks, that's fine. Ah, look at all of these hedges, please. Okay. I think the wooden fence works better around stuff sometimes than the hedgerows. This is all okay. I'm okay with this. Getting some pop in with the bushes. Weird. This needs to be returned to this stuff. Okay. Okay, lovely jubbly. Planters here are okay. These rocks. Let's get rid of these wall pieces. And I think this school's being replaced with a different fence. I'm thinking this one, handrail fence. Yes. Nice little handrail fence so you can lean on it and look in. Execute. Something's going on in chat. I checked Reddit for the first time in 6 years today, and Jurassic World Evolution subreddit are convinced negative space statue in the background of generic pterosaur is Rhamphorhynchus. I see. And thank you, Barinson. Right. This is fine. Using the planters here, I think, is not. We are going to replace those planters with the hedgerow. Like thus. I do think I want to change the color of the path here. Right. Okay. Excuse me. 1 minute. Thank you. Can I have more ash now? King Giga, sometimes you scare me. Oh. Rob's foliage mod there, coming in handy. Well, Smaug, I think we need to see what they actually have in terms of the fencing system. Because if all the short fences are ones you have to build yourself, that's not kind of what we want, is it? Oh, by the way, Robert, I very much enjoyed seeing your mod pieces for the British park, which I will be very much using. Although two do not work. This guy, the Grionland Daspis decoration, doesn't work. And the sign doesn't work. So if you want to inform your buddy of that, they don't show up in my end. We do need to put Microceratus in here. At some point. Most of this area I think is fine. Maybe we can do path color again. This is fine. So what we'll do is we'll get rid of these. And put in Le Hedgerow. Like that, you see? Oh, let me guess. Archelon. What is wrong with Das Archelon? You not eating? Why is you not eating? Oh, because you got stuck trying to climb out of the thing. Oh, that's the wrong one. No, that's also the wrong one. This is the correct one. Peculiar? I thought it was one of the pterosaurs. Right. There are more little bushes here. Biodenics hedgerows just look better than placing individual bushes down. Not to mention these bushes kind of look a bit weird when you put too many of them down because the game's like, oh my god, too much to render. Let's replace that planter quickly. Remind me never to go out on Friday night ever again. Oh no. Don't really think it makes much sense for there to be rocks here, but stone here? What happened? Oh.
What happened?
You did?
Mm-hmm. Take it, please.
Oh, sorry. I didn't know that's where it was. What ice...
Friday night, people trying to access an eye of a heightened sense of smell.
Yes, that's right. What ice cream is this?
Strawberry and cream. Whatever happens downstairs.
Oh, that's good. Might be a small tub, but that's good. Excuse me while I open my can of non-sponsored energy drink, which is my favorite energy drink. It's my favorite flavor is this particular flavor. I'm holding the logo so I don't get accused of anything, but you know what type it is. And that is nice and chilled. Right. I know. Rob, that's the first energy drink I've had in... a month?
I've been keeping track, it's been a month.
It's my first one I've had for a month. Okay. As promised, we will stop fixing this area of the park and we'll come down here. So, yeah, this area of the park I'm just not very happy with. It just doesn't look... I think part of the problem is, like... the problem is the beach, actually. So, what if we did something radical and got rid of the beach? Or at least got rid of some of the beach and kept... what if we kept like some areas as beach, but we kept some areas as grass? So in other words, we're making the beach smaller. Kind of prefer that. So we can still have our like beach effect pier and stuff, but we've got more of a direct connection between this part of the park and down here. Do you by chance spawn camp the energy drinks? Not sure what that means.
Hour for me!
Oh, I see, sorry. Dylan says, I hope the Gigantoraptor and all the feathered species back species will return to Jurassic World Evolution 3. What did that include? That was... well, Yeholopterus is out already. We know that. So that's one of them gone. Dinocaris? I think Dinocaris is a good bet of staying in. And can't remember what the others are. Well, White Tyrannus and Sinosauropteryx I don't give a damn about. That can go away as far as I'm concerned. Tyrannus I would expect to stay, but I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't. I think Dinocaris is the only one I think definitely has a good chance of staying. And this is Jurassic World Evolution 2. JWE3 is not out. And I'm not enough of an influence on YouTube to even have early access. Okay. We are going to completely redesign the Megalodon enclosure. Now. Which style of enclosure is this one? That looks like the standard Jurassic World one to me. Yet it is not. Am I not allowed to change what's in here until... unless it's empty? Is that the case? One momentum, Megalodons. Boom. You can share with the Ramallosaurus for a moment. Boom. Right. Okay, this is puzzling. It won't let me add to it. Ah, there we go. It's because I had Control 1. I forgot I had Control 1 activated. Oh, I thought he won the ticket to the event. Oh, the event isn't until the end of September, Dylan. I do have a ticket to go to that, but that's yeah, not for a while yet. I am looking forward to it though. Okie dokie. I'm basically going to redesign this whole thing. So, now to access the Megalodon exhibit, you're probably going to go via here. So this makes this area a little bit more important. So what I'm going to do is bring the pathways back. And we'll turn this area, we'll give it a bit more of a plaza-like feel. I mean, if I had the what I would do is like do a covered plaza. Be difficult to do, but might have a go. Okay, Megalodons, where are you? One. There you are. And two. There you go. Okay, so this is the side that people are going to be on. Viewing gallery. Eins. And 3. And then we're going to stick the viewing dome access in between. Us. Now we need feeders. Feeders are in here. Don't forget the Megalodon decoration. I won't. Okay, shark feeder on. Shark feeders on left and right. Then we will actually use some lagoon pieces. We're going to put in some fountains. We're going to put in some flaming pillars. And, well, the flags don't really make sense, actually. The flags don't make much sense. So, put some trees in the far end. Now, I do want to do the thing I did last time, which is put the concrete wall around the edge. So, we'll have it start here. Extend it out just a little bit. I hope that the insect feeders do get added in a free update and not resold. Yes, so the reselling of content is a concern I have. Do I think Frontier would be stupid if many of the cut animals were brought back as DLC to make us pay for them again? Yes, I think that would be incredibly stupid. But that is what I see them doing. And I see them doing it because the company isn't in financial good health. And this is something I think everyone forgets when they talk about, oh, Frontier could just give it to us for free. Frontier as a company is in a really bad financial state at the moment. Like, they're not doing badly, but they're not doing very well. You know, they had to cut loads of people. Let's just watch him eat ice cream for the rest of the stream. That's weird! King Giga, why are you weirding me out like that? Don't weird me out like that. Oh, that's pretty cool. Actually, I shall show you guys this very quickly. Something a friend of mine has just shown me. So, if I go to here, do picture, image. And then this guy. So, my buddy Dino Army, who is a member of the Triclaw Discord, has been designing the livery for his car in his car game. And look what's on the side. I gave him permission to use the Triclaw Gaming logo as a fake sponsor for his racing team, which I really like. I think it looks quite cool on the side of his car there. I look at the stream preview and saw my car. Dino's here, hello. Anyway, let's carry on with talking about the whole reselling issue. If they do resell as old species, then that's going to be it for me. I will straight up go back to Jurassic World Evolution 2. Yeah, I mean... That's kind of the concern, isn't it? Why? Oops! I was trying to. I want another. I want another secondary fence here. Now what's going on? Ah, is this the Thanatos Drake and his? This is the Thanatos Draken who is perfectly fine. He's just decided not to drink. Hey? Nice, Dino. Yeah, so... as I was saying, this is I suppose like the big problem with cutting species from Jurassic World Evolution 3. It's if they resell them back, at that point, why not just play Jurassic World Evolution 2? Now, there's a video I need to edit tomorrow actually, where I'm going to be talking about some of the questions I have about Jurassic World Evolution 3 that need to be answered before I'm willing to buy it. Because, as some of you may know, I have not pre-ordered, because at the moment, the game hasn't done enough to make me pre-order it yet. And a part of one of my biggest concerns is the roster. Because that's like... if the roster is full of loads of animals I don't really care about, what's the stimulus to buy Jurassic World Evolution 3? Because babies and modular building, I do not give a damn about. Honestly, babies, couldn't care less. Baby dinosaurs might look cute and be wondrous, but in my opinion, they don't add anything. In terms of gameplay, fundamentally, they don't add anything to the game. Apart from probably making it a little bit more tedious. Now, I know that babies are a big thing for people that want to do ecosystem builds, but I don't do ecosystem builds, because to me, that's not in the spirit of what the game is for. The game is a park building game, and that's what they should be focusing on. And I don't think babies really add anything to the park building. I know I think that's an opinion that a lot of people would disagree with, but it is my opinion that the babies don't add anything to the game. Not that it's, you know, Not that it's a bad thing to have the babies. I actually think it's a good thing to have babies because it adds diversity to herds. I just don't think it solves many of the problems that the game has inherently within it. There are other areas of the game that need reworking, like the scientist system, like the lack of management in general. Those are areas that need the work. No, Dylan, this is just using mods on Jurassic World Evolution 3. I am in Britain. I am in the UK. I live not too far away from London, actually. It's 45 minutes up the road, London. But, no, this is just Jurassic World Evolution 2. What? What? As in fishing?
Yeah.
Well, that won't be around for long.
No, literally, it's like
Strange. Anyway, sorry, me. Dane just told me something that made me a bit surprised.
I was
Anyway.
surprised too. I did a double take.
Okay, so people are going to come into this through here. So I'm thinking we need to alter this path slightly. Let's give ourselves some room. I'm thinking we have that lovely decorative arch. This guy. Okay. Nice decorative arch. That's going to be where the entrance to this area is. We're going to get rid of this. And we're going to place concrete wall. Yeah, it doesn't really work with the concrete wall, does it? We will place short wall. Short wall works better. Combine it to there. And then this. Have it linked to there. And have it linked to there. And then we'll do the same on this side. Have it go over here. Here. And then that'll disappear off into the vegetation. This will be our entrance. I have seen the Fantastic Four movie, and I thought it was fantastic. I really liked it.
Wow.
I didn't mean to do that deliberately. That was an accident. Dane criticizing me then. One. Let's do this properly. Two. Three. No, no word of a lie. I don't normally. I'm not a big superhero person. I've literally only been watching superhero films because Nerd Guy, a friend of the channel, you know, I made him watch all of Star Trek and made him into a Trekkie, so he's been making me watch, you know, I say making. I agree to watch superhero stuff with him to try to, you know, get a better feel for superhero stuff, because generally I'm not a big superhero person. And take it from someone who hates superhero films, generally, that Fantastic Four was a good one. I really liked it. Okay. Now, we do have some Megalodon-related stuff. I say some. It's exactly one. We have Megalodon jaws. Now, I don't really think they suit here. I think they better suit here. Probably as part of a display over here. But what other we do kind of have the kind of cute shark statue, which I might use somewhere. Hell's Aquarium doesn't really work for over here. I like the ammonites. We could find somewhere for the ammonites. This could go over here somewhere. I'm thinking maybe we could just have a planter here. Just to, that's a bit big. Is not what she said. Just some planters, and then we are in this lagoon section proper. Dylan, this is Jurassic World Evolution 2 that is modded. This is not the London preview. The London preview is not until September the 27th, which is quite some way away. Okay, so I'm thinking... I kind of want to have like a... just a bit of a divide between the Megalodon and the rest of this area. It's not perfect, but it'll do. And then this area for the Archelon and Nothosaurs. Oops. I've seen some concept for Mutadon's design, and man, literally every single one looks like a creature, an ugly one for the Monsterverse. So, I'm actually in the process of writing my Jurassic World Rebirth long review. I'm currently up to the 25-minute mark in the film, and the script is 7 pages long so far. So extrapolate that to a 2-hour-long film. So I'm a sixth of the way through. So 6 times 7 is 40. Hang on. 42? No? Yeah, 42. So that'll be 42 pages long when I'm done. So, that's going to be a long video. A very long video. But the video itself is not going to be designed with, like, watching it in mind, as it were. My plan for the long rebirth video is that it's the sort of thing you put on in the background and just listen to. I'm not expecting people to watch it religiously, because there's nothing really to see. I can't use sections of Rebirth because it will get copyrighted instantly because the film isn't out on anything. Technically, the copy I have is iffy. So it's just going to be still images anyway. So there won't be that much to see. There'll just be quite a lot to listen to. Mostly me explaining why I absolutely hate that film. I tell you what, the biggest thing I'm finding so far with the review, I absolutely hate Scarlett Johansson's character. I absolutely hate her. Like, I cannot stand her character. She's awful. She's the most unlikable. I would say she's the most unlikable character in the whole film. Like, everything she does is awful. She's a hypocrite in multiple parts. She's completely unethical, completely amoral. The idea that this is the heroic female character that we should be technically rooting for, I don't see it. And I think that's quite a serious problem with the film as well, because I don't like it. I hate her character. But people are going to accuse me of hating her character because she's a woman. And I don't. I just hate her character because she's a... Because she's a... I know the word I've put in my script. I'm not going to repeat it here. But it's not a nice word. Would this work as, like, if we put this here and we put, like, the Megalodon jaws on the top? That would. I think it would. Pop Tart with an R. An R-E. No. Mine sounds like a ditch, but with a B. That's the word I've used. I just can't stand her character. Every time she opens her mouth, she's smarmy and obnoxious. She's just smug and sarcastic. She's completely amoral. Like, the minute... What the heck? Why can't I... Because Kyodenic hasn't changed the hitbox for these buildings. That's why. She's just a horrible person in that whole film, pretty much. And the film does a really terrible job of redeeming her character. But then, pretty much everybody in the cast of that film I don't like. I don't really like Loomis's character, because to me, it's a pointless, worthless character. He doesn't... You could remove Dr. Henry Loomis from the film entirely, and the film would be no different. Also, for a doctor, he spouts a surprisingly large amount of pseudoscience mumbo-jumbo rubbish that's not correct. Like, everything scientific he says is just completely wrong. So, again, not really sure what his purpose in the film is. Doesn't give it credibility considering it's all wrong. I think that looks good. If I was doing this in Jurassic World Evolution 3, I would probably have, like, the name, like a Megalodon something, or maybe Jaws or whatever on here. I don't think I have the updated version of the statue mod with a Megalodon statue in it. I've noticed this, that I don't have a Megalodon statue here. So I don't think I've gone and gotten the upgraded version. So I will have to do that. See, I've got the dunk, just not the meg. But I think that looks alright as that is. Wet Loomis. Oh, look. I'm gay, yes. But Loomis, he isn't my type. Loomis is not my type. I mean, firstly, because he gets basic scientific principles wrong, so, you know, I can't stand anyone who gets basic science wrong. But also, he's just not my type as a character. He's not my type. I would like to know where he buys his glasses from, though. Because any glasses that can survive a 1,000-foot drop and not come off your face, they're the sort of glasses I want. So I kind of want to know where they came from. But yeah, the pseudoscience mumbo-jumbo that they talk about in Rebirth just really grinds my goat. It's a whole... I think it's a whole page in the script right now of me just explaining why the whole more oxygenated atmosphere and all the other nonsense they spout is pure nonsense. I go through every aspect of it and explain it. It's complete nonsense. Even Best in Slot knows it's nonsense. Palm trees. Now what I don't want to do is to have too many palm trees here so it affects the view of the galleries. So the galleries can't see each other, but the galleries can still see what's going on in either direction. I think that's fine. Prehistoric Planet Dinocaris versus Dominion Giga. Oh, Prehistoric Planet's Dinocaris is great. He has a really nice package in one scene. There's more to being a good partner than a nice package, Rob. Getting basic science is important. Loomis calling Moser and Quet's dinosaurs made me want to crash out. I really hated that whole scene. There's so much about that scene that annoys me. Like, just shortly, Loomis calls them all dinosaurs, which is really annoying. Secondly, the fact that if it's only the sheer size of the animal that matters, blue whales, sperm whales, humpback whales, why not just go to them and get the blood you need? Thirdly, he acts like every single one of these animals live to 100 years old. They don't. The oldest sauropod we have on record is 49, with an estimated age of between 50 and 80. T-Rex, the oldest one we have, is about 29 years old, with an estimated old age of 40. Quetz is a higher metabolism animal because it flew. You know, the higher your metabolism, the shorter your lifespan. That's why turtles live for a very long time. They have a very slow metabolism. That's why hummingbirds with very, very fast metabolisms live a relatively short number of years. So Quetzalcoatlus, again, higher metabolism, probably 40 years, something like that. So the idea that they all lived to that grand old 100 years is nonsense. But the bigger thing that annoys me is the whole heart disease angle. They say they need the animals with bigger hearts because the bigger the heart, the bigger the coronary muscles that pump the heart. The thing is, heart disease itself is actually a catch-all term for a number of different illnesses. And yes, some of them do concern the muscles that pump the heart, but others don't. You know, others are about the valves of the heart, about the actual, like, tissues of the heart. And the most common form of heart disease, coronary heart disease, is about the arteries and the veins in your body being blocked due to high cholesterol. The funny thing about Rebirth storyline is perhaps Parkogenics could probably save more lives by just getting the average American person to eat better, exercise more, and stop smoking. Because smoking, lack of exercise, obesity, and diabetes, which can also be caused by obesity and lack of exercise, are like the 4 biggest causes of heart disease. It's frustrating for me that like they're going, oh, we need this magical dinosaur blood cure for an illness that in reality you'd probably have a better job of fixing if you just did some anti-smoking stuff and some anti-obesity stuff. You know. But like I say, that's all going to be in my long review. No, I know probably people will give me hate for hating on the film, but I don't care. No, it is what it is. I'm entitled to my view, they're entitled to theirs. Right. I'm kind of wondering what else to do down here. Oh, maybe we should have like a display. Actually, those megalodon jaws don't seem big enough. One moment. Can I just borrow one of you? Yes, you. Just gonna borrow this guy. Let's just raise him up and rotate. Get rotated, fool. Actually, you know, they pretty much are the correct size. Maybe even a little too big. Huh. They look really small. But then, this game has a massive scaling problem. Thank you, Bruce. Okay, so. What's your thoughts on dwarf elephants appearing in prehistoric planet Ice Age? Well, I mean, I would say I don't really have an interest in prehistoric planet Ice Age. I know it's going to sound bad of me to say, but I just don't have a strong interest in prehistoric Ice Age animals. And that, I think fundamentally, I think that's always going to be the problem with doing a show about Cenozoic animals. And of course, the makers of Walking with Beasts knew that especially. Like, Tim Haynes knew that Walking with Beasts would be the most difficult of the Walking Withs to do, because the dinosaurs have the fame, but the animals of the Cenozoic don't. So he knew that was going to be the most difficult of the Walking With series to do. But Walking with Beasts succeeded. Like, they were all really surprised that Walking with Beasts did in some cases better than Walking with Dinosaurs. But that's because the Walking With team was doing it. So the question is, can the Prehistoric Planet team do the same as Tim Haynes and the Walking with Dinosaurs team. And I don't think they can. For a few different reasons. But one of my primary reasons is they've lost David Attenborough. David Attenborough is not part of Prehistoric Planet. Ice Age. And that's kind of a big deal because, well, it's Sir David flippin' Attenborough. You don't get around that fact, unfortunately. If you have David Attenborough in your program, that tells people quite a lot. It gives the program a sense of legitimacy and some style, and it gives his, his famous name to the show. That was one of the reasons that the new Walking with Dinosaurs was so lackluster. They had some random narrator who I'd never heard of. Like, I'd never heard of him, and he just brought the whole tone of the program down. He just sounded bored all the way through. David Attenborough has a very distinctive style of narration. He's very eloquent, but also has a particular style which everyone really likes. Imagine if it was Kenneth. If they had brought Kenneth Branagh back, it wouldn't have saved the show, but it would have been better. I like that. Very nice. The show would definitely have been better with Kenneth doing it. But Kenneth Branagh is getting on. I mean, it was a surprise he did all of the Walking with shows. I mean, by Jingo. I bet that was a big part of the costs, actually. Kenneth Branagh's probably wasn't cheap. But then, as I said about Dinosaur with Stephen Fry, if you're going to do a program like this, you don't do it on the cheap. Because if you do it on the cheap, you end up with a program like Dinosaur with Stephen Fry. Potentially the worst piece of dinosaur media I've ever seen. The forbidden documentary. I like that. You cannot watch this. It is forbidden. I have forbidded it. If only. If only I could forbid it. God, it was awful. Although that was like the first video that did really, really well on the channel was me ripping that program to shreds. God, it was bad. What were they thinking? You found my channel through the dinosaurs Stephen Fry stuff. Oh, well, then Berenson, I'm glad that it was useful for something. Oh yeah, the Evo's video, the video she did after it was all finished, you know, the one with the thumbnail where it's Stephen Fry dressed as a clown. I love that video. I've rewatched it so many times. Partly because she's used one Triclaw's video thumbnail in her video as well. So, you know, it's always a bit of an ego boost. But just because she's so funny through it as well. She always makes me giggle. Obviously, we need to redesign the actual mosasaur enclosure internally as well. And I'm thinking that it's going to be quite fun to use some of these new components just before we finish. So Robert told a friend, and their friend let me use their mod early, which contains a load of some very cool stuff. So we've got this blue whale skeleton, this shark cage, this ammonite stone. These fish don't work, so I don't know what's wrong with that. This swimming scuba diver. The classic British red post box and telephone box, which will be useful for the British park. And then we've got like a cute cartoon tortoise, cute cartoon whale, cute cartoon shark, cute cartoon mosasaur. They call it a plesiosaurus, but that looks like a mosasaur to me. Speedboat. Funny little submarine. Just a diagram showing the Western Interior Seaway. Hell's Aquarium sign. Skeleton of Stellar Sea Cow. And these nice little ammonites that you might find somewhere to put the ammonites. We might just add some nice movement in somewhere. But yes, it's got some good stuff in there. I'm looking forward to using them around. And one more item is on the way. Yeah, but Rob, so I don't know if you want to pass it on to your friend that 2 of the mod items are broken for me, and I don't know whether it's a conflict or something, but this marine world sign doesn't work, and the fish don't work. I'm not sure whether it's a conflict or something else. Do you know that Forest Glanty is a fraud? I don't know who that is. Should I? The fishes don't work for me too, but the sign is fine. So there's potentially a mod conflict in there somewhere. Maybe an ID conflict? Anyway, well, today has been fun. We Again, we haven't done too much. But this is one of the parks that I need to get finished so I can do the tour around it before the end, before we all disappear off to Jurassic World Evolution 3. There's a lot of work to do. I'm going to be doing it off stream, as well as on stream. Sunday, we are going to play the Isle. Since the Isle didn't win today, we'll play the Isle on Sunday. And then next week, I promise to get Planet Zoo sorted out. So we can do some Planet Zoo on Friday. And yeah, at least now I have some idea of kind of doing something with this area down here. So yeah, that should be good. Anyway, thank you everyone for tuning in for this 3-hour-long stream. Don't forget to like the stream if you haven't done already. Please also consider subscribing if you're new to the channel for more dinosaur content from me and general gaming content from all of us at Triclaw Gaming. And I will see you guys on Sunday. Until then, enjoy the rest of your Friday nights, stay safe, and good night.